or as minor budget earmarked in schools regarding to health care.
Okay, so Pennsylvania at the moment, in terms of any kind of HIV, we are one of 10 states that criminalize people living with HIV. However, the state itself does not have an HIV specific law around criminalization specifically. We have amended other bills, of which that one is HB 103, which is or rather was signed into effect on November 3rd on 2022 as Act 99 of 2022. They added new wording, a new section which reads a new third-degree felony offense for something as small as expelling, quote, saliva on an officer, punishable up to 7 years incarceration and $15,000 in fine. And two, a new second-degree felony offense if the person knew or, quote, should have known, unquote, they had a communicable disease if their actions could have transmitted a communicable disease punishable by up to 10 years in prison and $25,000 in fine. Now, the wording communicable obviously is not just only relevant to HIV, but it can be any communicable disease, which would also include mpox. So I'd like to bring into the picture an event that happened in Philadelphia. One of our positively transnational advisory board member, AJ Scrunk, had helped organize an event called Aging and Thriving with HIV. And within the symposium, they have a presentation on HIV criminalization. Now, for myself, I'm going to share my potentiality as a trans non-binary woman living in Pennsylvania on any given day of the week. If I were to be in a protest, I'm already identified, I'm part of a cluster, and so, you know, if for some reason the protest became disruptive or violent in any way, and I was identified out of a group, I wouldn't even need to do much. They could just be near me, find cause, and next thing I'm doing time. This is the reality. They have the ability as law enforcement to have access to your HIV information. They have that legal ability to find out, and oftentimes you may be charged for lesser offenses, but the HIV charge remains on your record. Certain states can be, it can be removed from the registry. I'm not aware of the exact wording in Pennsylvania on that. So this is something in the state that I have been reaching out to a lot of people, and a lot of people in our state are just devoid of any knowledge of what's happening. They are shocked when I bring this up in group. Disbelief. I'm horrified. That's what the words are using when I'm speaking in groups. So we have 3 new bills that were put to the House. House Bill 319. It's an act providing for classroom instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity, and for parental notification of student health care services. and establishing cause of action for violation. So the three House bills that I'm going to be reading, these are in the pipeline. These haven't been enacted yet, but these are the beginnings of the GOP starting to implement anti-trans legislation in Pennsylvania. We haven't begun to see that many, but this is three. House Bill 138, amending Title 42 Judiciary and Judicial Procedure of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes in the limitation of time providing for gender affirmation treatment. And as you can see, that's a pretty vague and broad statement. It doesn't actually identify what age group or if it's all age groups. The commencement of action if an individual entitled to bring a civil action arising from gender affirmation treatment is an unemancipated minor at the time of the cause of action accrues. The period of minority shall not be deemed a portion of the time period within which the action must be commenced. The individual shall have until obtaining 30 years of age to commence an action for damages. Now, I'm not a legalese person, but I think it speaks for itself. If you have any questions, there are other people in this room that may be able to provide us with a little bit better understanding. The next House bill is 216. It's for providing for sports activities in public institutions of higher education and public school entities to be expressly designated male, female, or co-ed, and creating causes of action for harm suffered by designation. Public institution of higher education is one of the following: a community college operating under Article 19A. I don't want to read all of this, but basically outlining all of the regional colleges, the university within the state system, a state-related institution that's defined in a section like enlists the Thaddeus Stevens College of Technology, the Pennsylvania College of Technology. So they're really kind of going after basically all higher levels of education. Sex is being defined as the biological distinction between male and female based on reproductive biology and genetic makeup. So I think that we're all very well understanding that the implications are that trans women will be banned from sports. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to bring up in my context of our community. Yesterday at the state level meeting here, we have enacted a basic strategy plan for the next 30, 60, 90 days. We've established the communications, re-engagement, the new list server. These are all goals. We need to update the 2023 all pain, no gain white paper. These are all doable. Get comments and endorsements, and within the 60 days, we're going to be looking at all of the Pennsylvania advocates following up to the first 30 days and having new advocates join the Pennsylvania HIV Justice Alliance. We're going to have a Zoom meeting, and we're going to get our allies in Harrisburg to sign on to the work that we're doing. In 90 days, we're looking at educating the legislative and the media. We want to mediate curriculum talking points, and we're going to request data on new HIV screening cases. Right now, one of the projects, which I'm a part of the PA HIV Justice, and we have other members in the room, is that Pennsylvania has notoriously not had a lot of data around HIV criminalization. And so we don't know what people have been charged with because like I began the conversation with, you could be charged and that charge of HIV could be dropped, but it's still on the record. We don't know how many people are incarcerated with that kind of, what's the terminology, charge. So we're going to work with Nathan Cicero from the Williams Institute, and we're going to start to, we have, I think, 68 or 86 counties in Pennsylvania, and bit by bit we're going to whittle away requesting FOIs on getting data from each of the counties, starting with the most friendly, of course, and we're going to start to build up a data bank of that, and try and build a database extrapolating from the information that we get, so that we can have a better idea of where we're at with the state.
Thank you, Shekinah. That was so informative. All right, next we're going to have our international visitors tell us about what's going on in our country.
Sí, creo que, hola, Stacy Velázquez, de Guatemala, de la organización Trans Reinas de la Noche. Yo pienso que ya, bueno, hay que hacer una recapitulación histórica de lo que nuestras ancestras tuvieron que pasar para que hoy, por lo menos, nos odie la supremacía blanca. Y me pongo a pensar, ¿qué nos ha funcionado? ¿Qué no ha funcionado? Nos gastamos proyectos de millones y no avanzamos. De hecho, estamos retrocediendo, hay muchas leyes en nuestra contra. Entonces, las alianzas, está llegando el momento de las alianzas, de las coaliciones y de construir un mundo mejor para los niños y las niñas trans y los niños trans. Tengo un rencor grande con la sociedad, porque cada vez que veo una muñeca, quiero jugar con una muñeca, pero tengo 37 años. Cuando pude jugar de niña, eso nos pasa a todas las personas trans. Porque el sistema piensa que nos hacemos y no que nacemos. Entonces, creo que hay que empezar a impulsar narrativas donde mencionemos a los niños y a las niñas trans y a los adolescentes y darles voz. Creo de que la supremacía blanca, el patriarcado, utiliza a los niños para avanzar en sus agendas. ¿Ves? Primero nos negaban tratamiento a nosotras porque primero tienen que dar a los niños. Entonces tenemos que visibilizar a los niños y a las niñas para tocar el corazón, no a los malditos gobernantes. sino a la población en general que los elige. Entonces creo de que podemos reflexionar no solo en los niños y en las narrativas, sino que, por ejemplo, en todas las actividades de VIH que hagamos, hay que mencionar que necesitamos leyes, que necesitamos políticas, para que justamente los niños, las niñas, los niños y adolescentes trans no pasen todo lo que hemos pasado. Por último, porque para que todas participemos, también hay que empaparnos de feminismo. Y yo ayer decía que la discriminación será trans o no será. Pero entonces, a veces también somos egoístas con nuestros discursos. Y después dije en mi mente, ¿la discriminación será de todos o no será? Nos falta eso.
Hi, everyone. Octavia, she and her. So, you got a question? I only have one more person. No, it's just.
Are you getting static in your earphone?
I am.
Let's go.
Okay, it's not, maybe because it's close to your start, it might be. If not, there's some extra pieces you can change. Con el equipo, en different.
Para quien no me conoce, mi nombre es Israel Samador. Soy de Puerto Rico. No soy trans, pero sí brego en diferentes clínicas. Inmunología. Trabajo en diferentes clínicas de inmunología del programa Ryan White en Puerto Rico. Y para mí es algo muy importante y va de la mano con lo que dijiste. Y es que para poder llegar a lo que tú quieres y lo que yo quiero en mi comunidad, nos tenemos que unir como comunidades, porque nos hemos dividido en la comunidad trans, en la comunidad gay, en la comunidad bisexual. No, es hora de que nos pongamos en pie y de las comunidades. No es que van a dejar de existir las comunidades, pero tenemos que ser una comunidad para poder alcanzar lo que nos
So, I have a quick question. So for those in the room, are you an ally or an accomplice? And I'm asking all of our non-TGMB individuals in the room. Are you our allies or you are our accomplice? Which one are you? No, speak up. Which one are you? Do you know what accomplice is?
With you in the fight. With you in the struggle.
But that can be an ally too.
What's it have to do?
No. Good point. So there's a difference between ally and accomplice. It is not interchangeable. An ally is someone that, yes, they will show up when needed, but when times get hard, they'll also remove themselves. An accomplice is someone that will not only show up with you, but they'll take the licks for you. They also understand the fact of having skin in the game, and they understand the fact that if they're coming for you, then they're gonna have to get me too. And so that's why I ask individuals, for our community, which one are you?
In all transparency,
Yes.
I am here because I'm trying to My name is Marcia Perez. My pronouns are she and hers. I am here as a heterosexual Black woman who wants to know more about what's going on in the trans community. So yeah, right now I'm an ally, but I feel with more education, I can become an accomplice.
Thank you for your honesty. You want to take a time?
My favorite thing.
What's your name for now?
Okay, so I'm Kenya. I'm from Tulsa. Pronouns she, her. This is my first time at.
Awesome.
I've been in public health for about 6 months, 7 months. So I'm just really trying to insert myself somewhere and just like start learning. I would say I'm an ally right now. Once I learn more.
And you also do know that being an ally is a verb, not a noun. That means that you have to do something. So it's not a token badge that you get just because you say I'm an ally. You actually have to do something.
Oftentimes I find myself in circles where I feel like I have to stand. Trans and gay and bisexual communities and binary. I have to explain it. And people ask me, and I don't know all the terms. I want to make sure that if I'm going to defend, I'm going to do it the right way. I don't want to say something that is going to be offensive in the way I say it, or do anything to cause more harm when I have good intentions.
Now let me ask you this. How many times have you done this for a trans person? Because you know, sometimes we don't need you to speak for us. We just need you to open up the door for us. And so that is my charge to those that claim that they're allies. We can speak for ourselves. We're thankful that you're in the room. We're glad for that. But we charge you to do this for us.
When I speak up, it's when nobody. Yeah. When I speak up, there is trans in the room. When I speak up is when oftentimes heterosexual people will say the meanest things and the cruelest things that they want to say to your face. And that's when I become angry and I'm like, okay, let's clarify that and say, yeah, let's get the picture right. Let's get it straight.
And see, and that's what I'm like pushing back on the narrative. We have people in this room that run organizations, got master's degrees, senior analysts, CEOs, community organizers. We're all in this room, and people oftentimes talk about us, but don't really include us. And so that's why I am, again, pushing back, because, again, there's plenty of us that should be in the room when these conversations are being had, because it impacts us. And that's why I want to, again, push back on our cis counterparts that are in the room to learn to understand that being trans is not a monolith. Everybody in this room that identifies as trans is more than enough. And regardless of what your perception of their transness may be, that is their own autonomy. And we have to move away from thinking that trans looks like one thing versus the other. And we have to acknowledge that we all are going to show up differently, because there are different things that impact us all. And that's why it is important to create these networks. And we're glad you're here. But I charge you and others in the room to get contact information from individuals that can help you connect to people in your area, because we all know people around the world. All of us do. we're learning each other. Some of us are meeting each other for the first time, but we have a vast network. And so I, again, encourage you all, when you get ready to leave out of here, get somebody's contact. Because you don't have to do this all on your own. Like, we've been doing the work. So you don't have to replicate, duplicate, do any of that. Because most of us in this room already have already been doing the work. We just need to get ourselves, get our work in front of the people that are making all of these policies and procedures for us. And so that's what my perspective.
What made me very interested is Katie, right there. Katie has talked about, things that are going on in our state and offer support. And I volunteered to go down to, yeah, at the Capitol. The thing about it is, I realized when I volunteered, I didn't know as much about the community that I needed to know. So I'm holding myself accountable by saying that I need to be there. I need to show up, be there intentionally, and I need to be intentional about being there and showing up. I have to know why.
Okay.
Paul Michelle, Director of Trans Solutions in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I just want to touch a little bit on, how you said trans is not a monolith. We thought a lot. I think that sometimes as trans people, we have to step back and take accountability, because a lot of times it's our own community that's policing our transition. And so
We're not in them.
but I don't feel like it's, like, we know it, but I don't feel like it's talked about enough. And then sometimes we gotta lead by example, which I know that most of the people in the room does. But that also means calling our sisters out, calling our brothers out, calling our siblings out when we see them policing other people's transitions.
So do we call them out or do we call them
No,
in?
we call them in. I'm working on that. I just learned that concept and I'm working on that. I will call out girl.
Okay.
I will call you out. For real. And I'm learning that instead of calling people out, you call them on in, and you probably get a better response. So you're right, sis, I call them in. Yeah.
Got a question over here?
So go ahead. I was just, grabbing the microphone.
Oh.
Oh, we got questions over here too.
Okay.
What's it? Yeah, over here. Oh, see, this one I'm talking about. Get some good juju.
Hola, soy María Mediáfono, soy cómplice a morir, creo, porque ya hace muchos años que trabajo con muchas compañeras trans y si tocan a cualquiera, me tocan a mí, si tocan a una, tocan a todas. Ustedes lo saben, bueno, ahora ahí también. Y la verdad que creo, para decirle también a las compañeras que recién están empezando el camino de ser aliadas, se trata también de abrir espacios políticos, estar siempre mirando si no hay una hermana trans en los espacios para decir aquí no hay ninguna hermana trans hablando, y sobre todo en los espacios amplios de mujeres, porque también están las conservadoras muy fuertes, las antitrans muy fuertes, y nosotras, las que somos cómplices, tenemos que asegurar que en todos los espacios de participación política y de diseño de política pública estén las hermanas trans participando. Me tocó acompañar un montón de casos de transición. Soy trabajadora social de educación por más de 10 años y me da mucho gusto estar ahí porque no hay muchas personas en educación que estén con la educación de acompañar las transiciones, de acompañar adolescentes de 13, 14, 15 en la transición, con padres muy violentos, con casos de intentos de suicidio. Entonces sí soy como real a morir cómplice de mis hermanas y hermanas trans.
Suggestions for allies that are wanting to step into that space that they're uncomfortable with, that they don't have the tools to give any recommendation. I mean, we're getting really good feedback, but without tools.
Sí, muy importante la pregunta, porque hay espacios muy institucionales, por ejemplo, voy a decir uno que es de Naciones Unidas, que mucho tiempo pasó que algunas compañeras que participaban, ¿saben? No sabían ni para dónde ir, ni con quién tenían que hablar, y de algunos espacios feministas lo que hacíamos es hacer formaciones, o cuando tenían encuentros y actividades trans, nosotras íbamos para dar alguna instancia de formación. Porque tenemos espacios institucionales políticos donde una no es que va y aprende escuchando, ¿no? Tú no sabes con quién tienes que hablar, cómo tienes que hablar, porque no es que solo por presentarte te van a escuchar. Aprender que en 3 minutos, 1 minuto, 2, tienes que decir todo lo más importante que tú querías decir en 1 minuto a veces, porque la persona se va. Entonces, son instancias de training que hay que ir haciendo y entender que a veces nos podemos ir frustradas las primeras veces porque pensamos que no hacemos nada, pero es hasta que aprendemos. No importa, vamos a ir 1 vez, 2, vamos a sentir que nadie nos escuchó, vamos a sentir que somos 1 o 2. Miren, ahora, otras veces dicen que eran menos en INAC, ahora miren la sala llena. Entonces, no importa cuando haya 1 o cuando haya 2. Cuando haya 1 o 2, busquen a las cómplices para traer más y que abran la puerta para que entren otras.
I just want to put things into context for this conference. So if everyone could take a moment, just turn to your, and look at the person to your left. To your left. According to the national statistics, not including you, but the person to your left, for African American women of trans experience, 1 out of 2 of us is living with HIV or will contract HIV in our lifetime. So that's the person to the left of you. Okay? Turn your head straight again. So, I want you to look to your far right, not the person right next to you, but the person on the other side of the person next to you. According to the national statistics, 1 out of 3 Latin trans women will contract HIV or is living with HIV in her lifetime. So those are our statistics. That is our reality. And so when we have these roundtable discussions and when we come together, it is because we know the severity. We can talk about social determinants till we blue in the face. But what does that mean for our community if we are marginally housed at home? What does that mean if we're suffering from food insecurity? What does that mean if we are dealing with intimate partner violence? What does that mean when we are dealing with mental health crisis? All of those factors, those mitigating, compounding factors, are the reality for many of us in this room. And yes, there are always exceptions to any and every rule. And it's a prime example by all of the beautiful faces that you see in this room. Many of us, and I including myself, I don't consider myself to be a person with privilege. I am a person with earned assets because I had to give up something in order to get here. Privilege is when you just walk through the door, you didn't have to give up nothing, you didn't have to say nothing, but a space was made for you at the table. Somebody had to know I was black, I was trans, a former sex worker, in order for me to get into spaces like this. So for many of us, when we do come to conferences, it's a high cost that we have paid to get here. And so I want everyone to remember that when you are going back and you're having conversations with your colleagues, to not only talk about us, but have a conversation with us. Because all of us in this room have the tools we need to survive. We just need that access so that we can get what we need for our whole community.
That was a word.
Yes, thank you.
And big space.
Oh, no. You want to hear from me?
I wanna hear from you.
I don't have anything to add.
I was like, you said it all.
Come on, baby. Give
I
us a
wanted
bit
to
now.
add something about when we're talking about data about our community,
Yes.
that 50% number about Black trans women living with HIV, that came from a recent study that surveyed 7 American cities with 1,600 people who participated, only 35% of them were Black. So when we're thinking about the data that gets used to talk about our community,
Speak on
we
it.
have to think about who we're surveilling. You want to know where those 7 surveys happened? HIV service organizations. So do you think their data was skewed?
Very much so.
Yeah, because what does that say to our community when we hear these numbers? What does that tell us about our futures? What does that tell us about how we protect ourselves and what's worth protecting?
Speak on it.
If what if our future's already written for us. So we need the data, but we can't let these numbers talk about all of us.
Ashe.
And I just looked at it because I know that study. I worked at a clinic where it was happening. So like I was seeing who was getting tested and it was, or who was taking the surveys. And it were people who were walking right out from their HIV appointments. So like I get it. And we served a large number of trans people at our clinic. But I just want us to hold data with a little bit of salt and think about it more broadly before we think about the impacts that it has on our community when that's all we hear about our potential futures. So I just want to say that.
Es que me quedé pensando en lo que dijo de las transiciones. Sí, yo pienso que hay una ola, y es que es con la despatologización de la identidad trans. Pienso de que hay que hacer campañas más sólidas, acompañadas de los ministerios de salud, porque son los entes rectores. La descriminalización hacia las mujeres trans tiene que ver mucho con el tema de la identidad de género. Y, por ejemplo, las personas cisgénero no se sienten cisgénero. Piensan que no tienen identidad. Hay que educarlos. Entonces, se me viene a la mente de que podemos empezar a construir proyectos de eso, propuestas, pero también siento de que debe de haber, tenemos que empezar a impulsar un movimiento global, porque las personas que están en contra de nosotras y nosotros están bien organizadas. Y tienen dinero. Por ejemplo, toda esa gente se mueve en el Consejo de Derechos Humanos de la ONU, se meten. O sea, es increíble que Estados Unidos haya estado en el Consejo de Derechos Humanos, ya se salió, pero es increíble que haya estado. Y esas cosas son justamente impulsadas por los conservadores, porque no solo quieren acaparar las leyes nacionales, sino también las convenciones y tratados internacionales que avanzan. Entonces, por ejemplo, en la OEA, en la Organización de Estados Americanos, justamente se está proponiendo una convención por Estados Unidos de ¿cómo se llama? De religión y de todo esto de que la gente gente tenga derecho a que si tú eres trans y decirle que no te puede atender porque eres trans. Eso lo están impulsando a nivel regional. Entonces, mi pregunta es, si todas las personas que están aquí conocen de los sistemas internacionales de derechos humanos, porque hay que empezar a visibilizar todo esto ahí. Y participamos algunas personas, pero por ejemplo, la OEA va a ser en Washington este año, del 21 al 23 de junio de este mes. Antes participábamos todas las personas en la OEA, todas las organizaciones registradas, armaron una, justamente por los antiderechos, armaron coaliciones. Entonces, varias organizaciones arman coaliciones para poder tener votos en el diálogo de sociedad civil. La cosa es que solo vamos a poder entrar 31 personas este año. Ya, creo de que ustedes nos tienen que ayudar a nosotras, a las latinoamericanas, porque justamente está siendo impulsado por el país de Estados Unidos, o sea, por este país. Entonces, no sé, quisiera que si tienen gente en Washington que sean sus aliados, que les digan que del 21 al 23 vamos a estar ahí en una OEA y pues que se den una vuelta afuera. Quizás nos van a dejar afuera, pero vamos a hacer incidencia política desde afuera. Pero me preocupa mucho esto, porque hay una ola conservadora que se está organizando como nosotras y nosotros. Ahora quieren audiencias temáticas de religión. Entonces, pero también están poniendo comisionados, o sea, el comisionado guatemalteco votó en contra del informe que se hizo en la CIDH de personas trans y los indígenas. Ahorita que se están eligiendo nuevos comisionados, vienen más conservadores que progresistas. Entonces, preocupa que las sentencias que se han dado, y hay sentencias en contra del país de Estados Unidos en la Comisión Interamericana de Derechos Humanos. Preocupa de que podamos retroceder en materia de derechos humanos, no solo en la región latinoamericana, sino a nivel global. Entonces, pensemos qué podemos hacer. Y cuando yo decía todos, se me venía a la mente que hay que transificar al mundo.
And just to like dive into that, right? Oh, my name is I use not other than pronouns. Non-binary troublemaker. And the U.S. exports transphobia, right? The U.S. exports transphobia. Put that on a t-shirt, right? And evangelicals from the U.S. are going to other countries to then start institutions that are the only source of funding for many types of, not even just in gender and sexuality. They're offering all kinds of resources, healthcare, and anything. So these are the same folks that are doing that work that you're saying, right? Around combating and undermining gender identity. So I wanted to come back to something that Octavia had said around finding our people. And I just wanted to say that Octavia and I this year were a part of a project called the Trans Justice Funding Project. And so I want to put that on y'all's radar, right? Because it's literally a map of different trans-led organizations, and not nonprofits, not people that are necessarily C3s, small grassroots groups, right? Some folks that just come together and are having meals, movie nights, different things, and find that map and look for your people everywhere. And there's another one, there's a global one, I'm gonna find it, I think it's called Trans Global Education United. But I'm gonna look for it and lo voy a compartir because they also move money as well. But just continue to look for our people wherever they are. And I know that we had an invitation, so if folks know people, in DC.
That's right. And we got people that were funded in this room too. Oh, yeah, it's here. Maybe this is our room. Take a bunch of pictures.
Y
then we're gonna go.
compañeros, tienen que empezar a llegar a estos espacios internacionales. Tienen que ponerlo en sus proyectos. El boleto de avión, el viático, tienen que ponerlo. Porque tenemos que empezar, o sea, hay coaliciones donde podrían ser bienvenidos en estos espacios, porque hay interpretación inglés y español. Y también en estos espacios también hay interpretación inglés y español, entonces el idioma no es una barrera para que podamos regocijarnos ahí en la luz.
Jaina, que Guatemala, is that what you're saying?
Kodee, then who else?
Kodee and then right here.
Okay, that's Eastern, right?
I was gonna go back to the accomplice conversation you were having, and some more advice. Something my mentor told me a long time ago when I first started in organizing. You can't participate in collective liberation if you don't lead an integrated life. And what she meant was we can show up in our professional capacity, activism capacity for Black people, gay people, trans people, but what are we doing in our private life? So if I'm a white person and I go home and I'm just surrounded by people that look like me, I'm not really participating. Or if I'm straight, where are the queers in my life? If I'm cisgender, where are the trans people in my life? Beyond my work capacity, my profession, what's going on in your personal life? Is your personal life integrated to the causes you say you support? And also, sometimes the best way to support us is not with your 2 cents, but your $10 or your $100. I can do more with your coins. Yeah, I can do more with $10 than your 2 cents. So give us your money. If you can't do anything else, give us your money.
Got Efren down here.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Kaine de Ecuador. Me he quedado muy sorprendido por las historias que he escuchado de las colegas trans, de las personas que viven con VIH. En nuestro país es muy parecido, no hay mayor diferencia, pero me llama mucho la atención porque trabajamos muy de cerca con la embajada americana. Los colegas de la embajada siempre me están llamando, invitando y dicen, ¿qué pasa? Cuéntanos cómo están sus derechos, de qué les podemos ayudar. Y el año pasado presentamos nuestros informes sobre el examen periódico universal y me reuní con la embajada y le dije, por favor, llámenle la atención al Ecuador y díganle esto está haciendo mal. Y le han llamado la atención. Y creo que necesitamos hacer lo mismo con Estados Unidos, llamarle la atención porque no está atendiendo. Está preocupado por nosotros, pero está preocupado por ustedes. O sea, me parece una contradicción muy fuerte. Creo que hay que apoderarse de esos espacios internacionales.
Quiero agregar algo con esto que dijo Trae, porque pienso que muchas veces Estados Unidos hace una política internacional vendiendo ciertos mensajes como están los fondos PEPFAR, apoyamos a las comunidades, el acceso a la salud de los países de Centroamérica sobre todo y América Latina, pero todo tiene otro interés de trasfondo. No es que realmente Estados Unidos está prestando las comunidades o las comunidades trans de América Latina cuando no atiende en casa a sus comunidades trans. Entonces, cuando estamos pensando así, tanto en la política internacional de la cooperación internacional como la interna, tenemos que entender que siempre hay algo más. Voy a dar solo un ejemplo del año 2014 en Naciones Unidas, donde se rompió el bloque de América Latina y se salió Brasil. porque la estaban amenazando que no le iban a dar ingreso al Consejo de Seguridad de las Naciones Unidas. Saben que en el Consejo de Seguridad se decide todo lo que tiene que ver con guerras, negociaciones bien fuertes de alto nivel político. Entonces, se rompió todo el acuerdo progresivo de derechos en términos de poblaciones y derechos sexuales y reproductivos, porque salió Brasil, atrás de Brasil se ve Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, y Brasil se fue con el bloque de África del Norte, que por lo general en la agenda internacional es el bloque más conservador de políticas para las poblaciones. Entonces, cuando analicemos qué pasa, si están dando un apoyo en algún país, busquemos un poquito más allá, porque no están dando apoyo a las comunidades porque solo quieren que accedan a la consumir privada de la salud. O sea, siempre están buscando guardar algo, pero están pensando en que quitan y que se van a llevar.
What are they taking there?
I just want to say that I feel like the whole LGBT community is being used as a pawn in a larger political game of which we are devalued, dehumanized, we don't matter.
I just want to say, to piggyback off of what Shekinah is saying, is that this is about scapegoating a group of people that can't defend themselves. This is about creating an issue that is going to bring the conservatives closer together and galvanize their political power, right? And I just think that we really need to contextualize that the people that are against us, that are trying to pass these bills in all of our states, are people with so much money, okay? So much money. At the CPAC conference, they literally said that one of their biggest agenda pieces was to eradicate transgenderism. And that is like, that's what we're up against, you guys. Like, we have the interest groups that are against us are really, really powerful. And we need to build these coalitions, and we need to build this network of support. We need to build the power that we have we need to teach other people in our communities how to advocate so that we can fight against these things. And I think that that's really, really important. I think the conversation we're having in here is really, really important. And I think that, building this network is really, really important.
And so we have you on the end, and then my ask for all of the TGNB community in here, I want you all to tell where you're from, what work you're doing, so that others will know where you are.
I just want to agree, sometimes when I hear about what's happening in the legislation and everything, I honestly feel like it's not about the trans community, it's about getting votes. It's about getting money. It's about staying in office. To be honest with you, behind closed doors, they probably have many of them don't have any issue. They probably are watching porn and, on the internet. So it's not an issue of trans community. They just don't want it in their face, just like they don't want black folks in their face. They don't want their wives to be talking about them. They're trying to make nice with everybody that has the money. And unfortunately, the black and trans community don't have it.
So can we go around, well, I want to get.
that was the person at the end you were talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you meant the person behind it.
So, start with Michelle Yumira. I want you to tell where you are and what you do at what your program does. Okay, so that we all know.
Again, I'm Flo Michelle Battles from Indianapolis, Indiana. And actually at Trans Solutions, what we're doing is we are developing a program called Vision. And what Vision does is it addresses health and wellness, workforce development, and housing. And I'm so excited about the program, like, because a big component of it is that we're building an educational learning system so that hopefully, this program can be replicated from anywhere. And so if somebody's in California or somebody's in Colorado, they can log into the system and get the same, they have the same classes, they have the same format. So super excited about it.
Thank you, Jill. Kodee?
I love that name.
Yeah.
Kodee, again, from song, here with Positively Trans, so our cohort does storytelling, professional development,
And data research.
data research.
Our own data.
Our own research, community-based data research.
Okay.
Outside of that, we're a nonprofit engaging our communities where we offer free full panel testing for STIs and STDs, and also counsel people for free, and offer sexual education components all for free to the community.
Thank you. Adrian, do you want to say what you're doing?
Sure. I'm pushing this every 30 seconds. He said I'm gonna leave for a minute. I'm trapped now. My name is Adrian. I'm a senior staff attorney at the Project of Pennsylvania, where I work on all the things that we do, including I'm the program manager for the trans programming, which is regardless of HIV status, identity document help. And then I'm also a member of the Hearts on a Wire Collective, which is an inside-outside collective that has for years been supported by the Trans Justice Funding Project. That supports trans folks and returning folks inside in Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
Renee.
Hey y'all, I'm Lyndale. I am located in Memphis, Tennessee. I work for We Care Tennessee, which is a Black trans-led organization. That our main demographic is Black trans women who do sex work, former and current. And we also work with people who use drugs. And we use a harm reduction approach while dealing with people. Most of the time we require that a person have a plan, because we do light case management. But I am a program manager at We Care, and the program is called Project Youth, which was a collaboration between the University of Memphis and We Care, where we surveyed 192 participants from all over the country with what were their needs, to come up with a national strategy to make sure that sex workers and Black trans women have what they need, and to be seen. And that's what I am working on right now. But I have my hands in so many things, so I just cannot really think about everything that I'm doing. I used to chair the planning body in Memphis. You're allowed to do 3 two-year terms. I completed, when I left, I was the co-chair, but when I started out, I was just chairing priorities, which was doing a lot of the allocations of funding in the Memphis TGA, which is Transitional Grant Area. We have 7,700 people in the Memphis area who are HIV positive, and that gives us a voice also as a form of representation. I was one of the first people to go to the state of Tennessee, the health department, and ask them why was they labeling trans women as SM, and why they weren't collecting that data when they could easily just ask 2 questions and get all the data they need about transgender people, sex assigned at birth, and how do you identify now. So that's what I do.
Thank you.
My pronouns are they and she, certainly.
All right, Dee, tell us what you do. We got 5 minutes, and I want to hear everybody in here.
All right, I'm gonna try and be fast but slow for y'all. I'm a trans health consultant for NASDAQ, so if you work for a health department and need technical assistance or capacity building around developing trans programs and outreach, you can get that for free. So just ask, put in a request. I'm also a co-founder of a trans inclusive development advocacy and learning. It's title for a group of statewide trans folks who are doing healthcare training for gender clinics, well, for clinics in general, to be a podiatrist clinic throughout the state of Louisiana, so that we get good care everywhere, not just in some clinics. And then I'm also working for Kaine. We're doing a survey of all HIV advocacy groups in the nation to see how equipped they are to hire people of trans experience and to improve leadership, because they talk a lot, but then they hire one of us and think they've done it all. We're going to be using that data to develop teams, but I'm going to pass it on anymore.
Give my love. Where you from?
Soy Stacy Velázquez, soy directora de la organización Transgender. Sí, antes no podíamos ser pandemia en Guatemala, nos encarcelaban. Pues nuestra organización nació de mujeres trans trabajadoras sexuales de Centroamérica, radicadas en Guatemala. Y pues hacemos incidencia política, fortalecemos sistemas comunitarios, construimos colectivos en las áreas rurales. Tenemos una clínica que se llama Transvivir y una clínica móvil que va a las áreas rurales. Damos asesoría de hormonas, damos PrEP y PEP y hacemos testeo de VIH, sífilis y hepatitis. Y además de todo eso, tenemos programas de educación primaria y secundaria y pues y hacemos también conexiones con el movimiento feminista. Pertenecemos al sector de mujeres.
Amen.
Oh, no. You can go back and then whatever.
No, I'm not talking. Y'all doing it now. But tell us what you do, baby.
My name is Phoenix. I use they, them pronouns. I'm not currently affiliated with any organization. I'm actually a student at this time. What I do is I'm a research assistant, and I'm helping to create the data set in Indiana of all of the people that have been charged with our Indiana's criminal HIV laws. So if you need any assistance or anything or any advice with how to get those bulk court records, let me know.
And working?
Yes. All right, anyway.
Whoever this is going to.
Sure. Hey y'all, Jose Romero, I'm Director of Care at the Pride Foundation. CARE stands for Community Advocacy, Research, and Education. One of the projects is that I'm the most proud of is a fellowship that we started called Transform Culture. And so we have 10 to 20 BIPOC, trans and non-binary folks from Alaska to Montana that we are investing in, not just like $100 meal card, like we're giving like $20,000 fellowships like to folks to like actually be able to live their lives and do their things and just tell their story. So that's been really awesome. I want to make an invitation. If anyone needs to scheme around funding, feel free to hit myself up. And I'm sure Octavia and Tiommi, like,
just the plug.
Like, you already know. Like,
just the plug.
That philanthropy money.
Right, just the plug. Katie.
Hey everyone, I'm Katie Willingham from Alabama. My pronouns are she, they. I am co-chair of the Positive Women's Network Alabama chapter. One of our top priorities is trans rights and liberation. I also run a Facebook group called Alabama Transgender Coalition, and we try to keep the community connected in the state and keep community informed about what is going on in the state, and just create community.
Yo vengo de Ecuador, yo trabajo en una fundación que se llama SDAC, tiene 23 años.
My name is Octavia. I'm LA's coordinator for the Zero Project. So far this year, we gave the scholarships for this amazing five already here, including amazing placing. And as well as the mini grant, $5,000 per project in Latin America. We gave already one of them was given to a Black trans woman led organization from Dominican Republic. And also we gave micro grant opportunities for webinars across Latin America. And as well as some foreign mother, we're working currently with Google to create a job bank list to include people every time companies are searching for specific profile person, and we are always going to locate when they're looking for that, and we're sending those opportunities and making pressure for them to hire trans and non-binary people.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rico, and my pronouns are she and they. I work for Impact Global, who advocate for human rights and sexual health for men who have sex with men. And you know, in that job, I'm in social media there, so I'm learning a lot right now.
Thank you for being here. And then Wendy, and then Tiommi, you close us up.
Okay. Shekinah Rose, any pronouns. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm a positively trans National Advisory Board member. I'm a community member with the Pennsylvania HIV Planning Group, community member with the Arizona Statewide Advisory Group, the Rustbelt Center for AIDS Research Scientific Working Group, the Rustbelt Center for AIDS Research, Sex and Gender Advisory Board member, the Pennsylvania Governor's Office LGBTQIA Commission Aging Working Group, the Pennsylvania PA HIV Justice Alliance, the National PrEP Program, which is a part of the Southern AIDS Coalition, Western PA LGBTQ or older advocacy team, and legislative subcommittee.
All right, thank you. All right, Linda. Hey, everyone. Hey.
She always doing that.
I love it though. My name is Wendy Cooper. My pronouns are she and her. And so one of the things that I am working on right now is called the Cans campaign. And so Cans is called Crime Against Nature by Solicitation. So this campaign focused on the law of Louisiana that discriminates against LGBTQ individuals. If you was engaged in oral or anal sex in the state of Louisiana, you could be charged with crime against nature. At one point in time, if you were convicted of crime against nature, you was required to register as a sex offender. And the reason why I am focused on this project is because I was a person who was impacted by this law. I had to register as a sex offender for over 10 years. But due to my advocacy, I'm sorry, I was able to help over 700 people to be removed. However, although it was a victory, it wasn't a complete victory for me because I'm still experienced that I do have a felony on my record, which I'm currently now advocating to get the law repealed. And so how I've been doing it, I co-produced a documentary called Cans Can't Stand. I watched on in New York, or you can go to YouTube and watch this way and click in and thing. It's about a group of trans women in the city of New Orleans, like telling their story and telling how this law has affected them. So I am working on that, and the goal is to get the law repealed by 2024.
All right. Thank you, Lee. Close up, Tiommi, to be over time.
Okay, this has been so informative. Thank you all for, again, being able to adapt. And before we leave, I'm gonna leave you all with the charge. There was notably someone or a demographic missing from this conversation, and that is trans masculine people living with HIV. So I am charging all of you to go to the Hoover app. If you don't have my information, go to the agenda, click on this workshop, go to the chat, and you'll see my phone number and email. I need to be connected to trans men living with HIV. Okay, that's all I'm gonna leave y'all with. It has been a long day. I love you all, and I know most of you by name. So, let's go.
Thank you all.
You can please leave
You can leave your thing on the table.
It's on the table.
Yeah. You can wrap it up and put on the table, that's perfect.
Yeah, wrap it up. So it'll be easier.
Can I just tell you something?